Ayotte joins us. Nice to see you, Senator.
Nice to see you, Greta.
Senator, do you agree with Rush Limbaugh that we are headed towards economic collapse, or is he overstating it?
Well, Greta, I have confidence in the American people, but leadership matters. And I'm deeply worried if this president gets 4 more years, because look at the jobs report that came out on Friday. So we're still over 8% unemployment, and for every 1 job we've added, 4 people have left the workplace. I mean, they literally have lost hope. It's the lowest labor participation rate since 1981. Over 43 straight months of 8% unemployment. And then there's the debt. We met the marker of $16 trillion in debt. This president has added $5 trillion in debt. And frankly, our country can't take anymore. What he had to say about Obamacare is absolutely right. I've heard it from employers in my state that they're not adding jobs because of the cost of Obamacare and worries about it. So yes, we're in deep trouble, I think, if we have 4 more years of these policies and this president.
Well, going back before President Obama, going back many years, we have the situation with China. China is, and I pick out the statistics for your state, that your state has lost 20,400 jobs from going to China. And that's 2.94% of your total number of jobs. However, on the good side, New Hampshire's unemployment of 5.4%.
Yes.
That's not bad. That's good. We're all jealous.
Well, we're glad to have that, but we usually have a lower unemployment rate. And one thing I can say about that report about China is that we have a competitiveness issue in this country. That's what that report highlights. In fact, when the president came into office, we were #1 in terms of global competitiveness. Now we're ranked 7th in the world by the World Economic Forum. And I have to say, if I were to choose between cheating by China, and we know that happens, or the policies of the Obama administration in terms of why we lost more jobs, I'd pick the policies of the Obama administration. Just what did the president say last week? I mean, what did we hear from the DNC? Not going to deal with the highest corporate tax rate in the world, which is critical in terms of our competitiveness, and wanting to increase taxes on small businesses. Many of them, they're organized as subchapter S's. It hits 1 million businesses in this country. And then there's the regulatory climate, which I've heard from businesses in New Hampshire. We're not competitive because so much red tape coming from Washington and this administration.
If your candidate is elected, and if he is able, and let's assume that he has a Republican Senate and a Republican House, so he has essentially a get-out-of-jail-free card. He can do whatever he wants. When would you expect the economy to turn around? Because obviously, I know that you're convinced that the economy would turn around. Because Americans are, America's desperate. Yes. America's, so curious. Like, would you turn it around beginning February if he's elected?
Well, I have to tell you, I think that if Mitt Romney is elected president, that the market's going to react very quickly. But then he's going to get in there in the first 100 days, and he's going to move right away. We've already heard that he'll issue an executive order on Obamacare to relieve the pressure there, letting every state opt out, #1. Second, right away, he's going to deal with getting people together to come up with reducing spending in Washington, because we just can't continue with $16 trillion in debt. And then so much of this pressure on the regulatory end comes from these executive branch agencies, and just putting the right people in place that instead of trying to really strangle businesses to try to work with them, that'll make a big difference. We can unleash our economy just with those 3 things.
All right, I don't mean to box you in, but let's assume that you get all that. Let's assume all that happens, and let's assume that none of this happens. Are you still going to come back and tell us, give him another 4 more years, Governor Romney, if this magic, of all these things that you say don't work?
Well, Greta, I have confidence that 1 term of a President Romney is going to bring us forward significantly, that we are going to see our economy unleashed compared to the last 4 years of this president, where again, we've gone from 1st in competitiveness to 7th. And in fact, we've seen our unemployment rate over 8% during his presidency. And I know that President Romney will have the ideas that we need, and also the experience compared to this president of how to get people working.
Senator, thank you. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Greta. Great to be with you.